Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Mama. I am going to be picking my February TBR, and I'm gonna kind of do like I did last month because if you've been watching my channel for a little while, you know that I've got quite a few books on my my physical TBR that I have owned for a while that I have not read. I've got books in my Kindle that I have either bought or gotten, free through my Amazon Prime things, and also some new books that I've bought, even though I have books I haven't read. So I am really trying to read through as many of the books that I already own as I can before I start buying books again. Which is being a little hard because I love going to the bookstore. I'm sure you can understand. And I'm just as bad at the library. And what usually happens at the library is I pick up books that I end up not having time to read, and then I forget about them and, all that good stuff. But so I am going to pick the majority of my books from my TBR jar, and this is all of the ones that I have already owned. There might be a couple in here that I'd bought at some point early on last year that are newer, but a lot of these I think are older books. And then I have just a little bit of papers down here that are for the new books that I had bought maybe in November or October, something like that. And so I'm going to pick, I don't know how many yet. It's going to depend on the size of the books that I end up picking, but I'm going to pick from my TBR jar. I'm going to pick at least one from the newer books that I have. I want to pick one that is a Goodreads giveaway because I think I have 3 more of those that I need to read. And then I want to pick one that is a Kindle book. And like last month, it happened that my Kindle book was a Goodreads giveaway, so that worked out fine. And what I'm doing with my Kindle is I've just been whatever is the first book on there that I haven't read. So that's what I did. And I think I had picked 8 books for January, and I've read, and I had a book club book. So I have read all but one of those so far. And I'm working on one. I'm about halfway through, and then I have one more. And so I'm thinking I'll be able to finish all of the books that I picked for January. And so, like I said, I think there were 8 of them. So depending on the size of the book, we'll see how many I pick. So let's go ahead and see what we get. All right. Okay, so the first book is called She, and this is by Carolyn Lewis. She by Carolyn Lewis, and this is 5 Keys to Unlock the Power of Women in Ministry. I met her at a conference workshop that I had attended for women ministers as part of our denomination, and so she was talking about her book, and this book had been out for a while, I think, when she came to the conference, because this was 2016, and I want to say it was in like 2019 or early 2020 that I was at the conference. And so but I had never read it yet, so I'm interested to see what I think of this. And basically, let me see what it says on the back here. So we're not all the same. The time has come for us to honestly name the ways we are different and similar so that we can serve together in unity, grace, and trust. She, 5 Keys to Unlock the Power of Women in Ministry, is a comprehensive look at the challenges women face. Author Carolyn Lewis covers everything from biblical arguments for and against women in the church to what not to wear. With startling clarity, she reveals the underpinnings of sexism and examines issues of identity, authority, sexuality, authenticity, embodiment, boundaries, and self-care. She guides the reader to develop a personal theology of leadership and a leadership development plan. She is practical, wise, profound, inspiring, challenging, compassionate, and even funny. It empowers women to flourish in ministry, which is good for everyone and good for the church. So I'm hoping it's a good book. From other women that I've talked to who have read it, they've really enjoyed it and took a lot from it. So I am excited to read it. But I picked it up and I never actually got around to reading it. So that will be the first one. All right, and then the next book is, this is going to be a super quick read, but this is The Boy, the Mole, and the Horse. So this is The Boy, the Mole, and the Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Mackey. And this is just a book that had been recommended to me, and the artwork and everything, it's just beautiful. And the reason why I say like it's going to be short is it's just like, it's little like quotes and life things. So like on this page it says, one of our greatest freedoms is how we react to things. And then it's just the picture of the boy with the horse. And so obviously this is not something that's going to take long to read. This just says hello. So I had read some of it, but I haven't read the whole thing. So that will be on my list. All right, let's see. And the next book that I just drew is on my Kindle. And this one is The Druid. All right, so this is The Dawning of Muirwood by Jeff Wheeler. And this is book 1. The Druid is book 1 in the Dawning of Muirwood series. Let's see what this book is about, because I have no idea. An abandoned child becomes a singular inspiration to the mythology of Muirwood in an epic series by Jeff Wheeler, Wall Street Journal's best-selling author of the Muirwood and King Fountain novels. Eileen was born a wretched, a lowly foundling raised by the Aldermaston of Tintern Abbey. Then she's chosen to assist in establishing the new Abbey of Muirwood, now the site of a castle in the swampy Bearden Muir. Eileen's role is as knight servant to the Druid Mordaunt, the king's exiled advisor and prisoner. He's clever, dangerous, and invaluable to the Aldermaston. Mordaunt's priceless secret, the hiding place of the ancient tome that reveals the existence of other worlds and the magic between them. Mordaunt knows how potent its words are and how dangerous they could be in the wrong hands, but can Eileen win him over? All she must do is gain Mordaunt's confidence and trust and persuade the apostate to divulge his secret to her. But as she learns more from Mordaunt, Eileen's loyalties began to fray, and the risks are greater than she imagined. Despite betrayals, deceptions, and the deadly motivations of others, a girl from the flax fields is about to rise above her station. By exploring the potential of the power of ancient spoken magic, Eileen is coming into her own. How many pages is this? It is 323 pages, so it's not too long, so I'm going to keep going, because one of the books I got is super short, and the other one isn't really long either, so I definitely can do more readings. Let me see what else we have. Okay, the next book is an Alex Cross book, and this... All right, so then I have James Patterson, Cross My Heart. Alex Cross's whole world is crashing down around him. He has been hunted, stalked like prey, his predator priming himself for the kill. Cross has devoted his life to protecting others. Now he's unable to protect even those closest to him. As a police detective, he has made many enemies, but never like this. Everything he loves is being taken from him. Soon he will have nothing and no one left. So again, it's almost, clear as mud. It tells you what it's about, but not really. I will probably, I do go back and forth when I can find these on Libby for the audiobook. I will, sometimes read a chapter from the physical book, but I have found that the person who narrates these Alex Cross books, I really like his narration, and so I will probably see if I can get this one on Libby if it's available again, or somewhere on audiobook so I can listen to it, because I find that I like the Alex Cross books better when I can listen to them. So I will, I'll try to find that one to listen to. So we're at 4 books, so we're gonna obviously keep doing a few more. I'm going to this book club in my area for the first time this weekend, and depending on what I think of it, I will decide if I'm going to go back next month. I really liked the book club pick, and I'll talk more about it in a different video, but we were supposed to read Hamnet, which I loved, and but depending on what I think of the book club will determine whether or not I'll be also getting the book for next month. So we'll see. All right, then I drew The Outsider, and if I remember correctly, I think this is Stephen King. So The Outsider, I'm really excited to read this. I watched the series on HBO before I realized it was Stephen King and a book. And so as soon as I realized that, I had picked up the book, but I've never read it. So I kind of have an idea what it's about, but it's been a while since I've seen it. But a living nightmare has come to Flint City, Oklahoma, as an 11-year-old boy is found brutally murdered in a local park. And an unspeakable crime that rocks local law enforcement to its core as the most heinous atrocity anyone there has ever witnessed. Especially stunning is the identity of the prime suspect, Terry Maitland, one of Flint City's most popular citizens, as well as Little League coach. English teacher and devoted husband and father, Detective Ralph Anderson, whose own son, Maitland once coached, orders a quick and very public arrest. Multiple eyewitnesses and irrefutable evidence mean an ironclad case, until the investigation expands and horrifying new details begin to emerge. Terry Maitland seems like a nice guy, but is he wearing another face? When the answer is revealed, it will shock you as only master storyteller Stephen King can. So I kind of remember parts of how the story went in the series. So I'll be interested to see how closely it was able to follow the book. It's a decent size. But again, some of these books by Stephen King, they're long, but they're a lot of times not too bad as far as like how long it takes to read them. This one's 560 pages, so that's okay. We'll work with that. Let's see what else we got. I'm just happy this month is not a ton of like horror and kind of stressful, I don't know, thriller and horror and all that so far. So I've got a little bit of variety. All right. Oh, Firefly Lane. I'm really excited to read Firefly Lane. And let me find it. It fell down. Okay, Firefly Lane. This is by Kristen Hanna. And I'm really excited to read this because I had been watching the series on Netflix. We watched the first season, and I had been at, I don't know, I think it was an Ollie's or something like that. And I was just looking through their book section and I came across the book. I didn't even realize it was a book because I'd never heard of it before I'd seen the Netflix show. And so I'm excited to read this, but basically I'm not going to read the whole, it's pretty long, but basically there's some friends, and the story goes across several decades, and you learn how these girls like met and became friends, and they grew up, and one of the women is separated from her husband, and some stuff happens, and so they make a pact to be best friends forever, and for 30 years they're great friends and everything, and their friendship gets put to the test. And so I think this is going to be good because I know that the series had parts that made me pretty emotional. I feel like the book probably is even more so. I am looking forward to reading this. It gives me 6. Let me pick one from, I'm going to pick one from the newer books that I got, and then depending on what that book is, I might pick one more, but some of these are really short, some of them are really long. So again, I want to kind of be mindful, because I really do like to try to finish what I've picked for my TBR. So I don't want to assume that I'm going to read more than what I can. But let me, out of these little slips of paper I have over here, let me pick one of my newer books. Let's see what this one is. Oh, yay. Okay. Being Henry, The Fawns and Beyond, Henry Winkler. I'm really excited to read this one. I like Harry Winkler. And so I just think this will be, I hope it'll be enjoyable. I think it'll be interesting, but this is one of the newer ones that I picked up, and it's not super long. So hopefully that's a pretty quick read. I'm trying to decide, because I've got a Kindle book, I've got a new one, I've got several that I have already owned. I'm still finishing up Poe. And then if I do the book club again next month, I will have one more. That would be 8. I'm going to pick one more. And then what I'll say is that depending on whether or not I do the book club, will depend on if one of these has to get dropped for the month, because I haven't even looked at what the book is for book club next month, just because I want to check it out before I decide. But I'm going to draw one more. And okay, this is another Kindle book, and this one's called My Evil Mother. Well, okay, I guess it's good that it's on my Kindle, because it is going to be one that if I do the book club or if something else happens, I may not get to this one. But I'm not super big on reading from my Kindle, and so that's one of the reasons why I have a bunch of books on here that I've never read, because I don't always, but you know, sometimes I would get like free books and stuff, and I would get excited, and I'll get them through Amazon Prime or Kindle when I had Kindle Unlimited for a while. But then I realized I didn't read them all that much at all. And so it's another one of those that I picked up but I haven't read. So My Evil Mother by Margaret Atwood. What it says is a bittersweet short story about mothers, daughters, and the witch's brew of love and control that binds them, by the number one New York Times best-selling author of The Handmaid's Tale and The Testaments. Life is hard enough for a teenage girl in 1950s suburbia without having a mother who may or may not be a witch, a single mother at that. Sure, she fits in with her starched dresses, string of pearls, and floral aprons. Then there are the hushed and mystical consultations with neighborhood women in distress, the unsavory, mysterious plants in the flower beds, the divine warning to steer clear of a boyfriend whose fate is certainly doomed. But as the daughter of this bewitching homemaker comes of age and her mother's claims become more and more outlandish, she begins to question everything she once took for granted. It is really short. It's only 32 pages. So that's actually a great kind of addition to this month, because again, some of the books I have are longer, and a lot of them, but now I have several short ones that I can kind of plop in between. And since it is a Kindle book, which those, again, they're not my favorite to read on my Kindle, that's great. So I'll be able to read this on my phone or my iPad. Okay, so I'm gonna call that done. So 9 books, 10 if I do the book club. But because some of these are so short, that's probably gonna be just fine for this month. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that by next week I will have my January wrap up ready. Like I said, I think I'm on track to have all of my books read for January. I'm halfway through with the Born Identity, so I'm almost done with that. And then all I have left for this month right now is the Paleontologist, which isn't really long. So depending on how stressful it is will determine how long it takes me to read it. It's not a really long book. So I guess that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. And hopefully, you know, if you like this video or you want to see more, I would love it if you would subscribe, hit that like button and all of that. But I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye.